Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is December 19th. Welcome to my channel. What's the market doing? QQQ just keeps going up, right? Made new highs. SPY had an up day. Still didn't make new highs, right? Dow kind of balanced, and so did the Russell. So the market's not really showing any pullback or weakness really right now. That's really what's going on. Um, let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. Welcome to my channel. My name's Steve Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market. Also use gamma exposure level, supply and demand, most traded price of the month, the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. This all helps me find strength in the market, or structure, I'm sorry. Just like yesterday when I analyzed futures, right? What did I say? I said this market is bullish, right? Based on structure. So based on structure alone, I'm like, well, I would love to short it. I would love to go say it's overbought, which it is. But what does that mean, right? If the structure is showing that it's strong, sellers haven't proved anything at all, right? We're in a seasonally bullish month. Christmas is right around the corner. Time for a pullback is this week, really, but it might just move sideways. We'll have to see. Okay. Subscribe, set an alert if you haven't already. That would mean a lot to me. If you like my content, give me a thumbs up. And as always, you could excuse me, you could follow me at X at Gonzo719. All right, let's look at the watch list. Futures. Okay. And look at that. Bitcoin was the laggard yesterday. Today it's up 2.78%. Ether's up 2.53%. The Russell, is up 0.88. All right, let's see what the regional banks ETF's doing. It's up 0.54 pre-market, so they go hand in hand. Silver up 0.66. 30-year bonds being bought again. Okay, they had a little pullback yesterday, so now TLT is a 20-year Treasury bond ETF that is up 0.8. Okay, that should make the TNX, when that reports, the yields go lower. All right, ES is up 0.21. The Dow is up 0.2. Gold is up 0.18. Still holding over 2K now. All right, we had a nice pullback for gold. Now it's consolidating, maybe punching through for that next move higher. Uh, and then NQ is up 0.18. Crude is flat. Crude is flat. All right. Remember, I'm looking at that for next year. All right. And dollar is down 0.2. Okay. VIX, it's all about complacency there. 12.47 and it's down 0.72%. So no fear in this market. Let's move on. The stocks are like a day in swing trade. Let's look at these. Coin, no surprise, was the lagger yesterday. Now the leader with Bitcoin. Tesla had a nice little pullback yesterday. So I'm really interested in Tesla. I needed to consolidate now to see if it can make another move. Okay. Then we got Snow. Google. I did enter a long position yesterday. I think Google, when it was pulled back early on around like 134, I think 133. So I'm in a bull call spread. So took some profit. I have a bunch of contracts left, so I'm hoping to get, because that was a little bit of a laggard. That was one of my favorite stocks over the weekend, and that made a nice move yesterday. So let's see if we can get some follow through on that. Excuse me. Um, let's go to some laggards. AMD is down 0.21, so it looks like semis is a little weak. Nvidia, it's down 1.26%. It hit 500 yesterday, but now it's back to 494. Let's see here. Taiwan Semiconductor's chairman Mark Liu to step down after steering chip giant through substantial growth expansion. So that might be why sympathy with um, Taiwan Semiconductor, why that's possibly happening. Okay, moving on to top sector stocks. All right, eyeing up Exxon. I like Exxon and Chevron. I was talking about that yesterday, and my analysis over the weekend, and that goes kind of hand in hand with energy for next year. I could think that could be a nice rotation into energy. If you look at Exxon and Chevron, they're both been hit pretty hard. Okay, UPS is up 0.2. FedEx reports earnings. Let's see. We got laggards. Not much of a laggard. Salesforce, McDonald's, and PepsiCo got a downgrade this morning. So that's down only 0.42. If you look at PepsiCo, it looked to break out yesterday at 170. Then it pulled back. I'm still interested in PepsiCo. I mean, I own it, but like as far as the trade, let's see if that can possibly rally. Not sure. Today, it's only pulling back with that downgrade. Okay, let's look at sectors. The leader today is real estate. That's a defensive sector. Best basic materials, that's defensive. Then you have industrials, discretionary, utilities, financials. I mean, everything's positive. There's no laggard, except semis is flat. So, no weakness on the board. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, this market. And the strongest index off on the board is IWM, the Russell. That is up 0.91% pre-market. And that was kind of coiling. So if I looked at a chart, probably it's breaking out a little bit. Um, moving on. Let's move on to some news. Now, there's not a ton of news. All right, not a ton of news. We got economic calendar here. I don't think there's a ton to talk about, to be honest with you. What do we have today? We have housing starts 8:30. Fed Bostic speaking at 12:30. That's after, in lunchtime. And that's pretty much of your API crude at 4:30. Fed Goolsby speaking at 6. Okay. Not much going on today. Okay. Bank of Japan hold hits yen. So offers fresh impetus to bonds. So the yen fell, global bond yields fell after the Bank of Japan signaled that it is not in a rush to remove negative interest rates. So, I mean, the yen's one of the biggest baskets against the dollar. Euro is the largest. But the dollar is down. So, that's really it. I mean, there's not much news to speak of today. Oh, look at that! I didn't realize that. That wasn't in my other. So it's 9:30. Fed Barkin speaks on Yahoo Finance right at the market open. That's very interesting. Okay. All right. Let's look at any other news here. Google is going to pay 700 million to U.S. consumers. All right. Nippon Steel confident hefty premium for U.S. steel makes sense. BlackRock updates spot Bitcoin ETF proposal to allow cash redemptions. And then positive news for Boeing. I don't know how to pronounce that. Lufthansa orders 80 planes from Boeing and Airbus for 9 billion. Lafasna ordered 80 planes from Boeing and Airbus and agreed future purchase options for a total value of 9 billion. If you look at Boeing's chart, I was interested in a long at that at like 197, and then it gapped up, and then it just friggin' went crazy. I mean, Boeing just literally went nuts. Because I was all worried about the 200-day moving average, and then it just really rocketed. I mean, that was at 197, I just said. It's at 260. Crazy. I mean, other stocks have done that too, but I just want to see if there's any other news that I was looking at. I think I saw there's layoffs in Enphase. I saw that TomTom in Microsoft looking at AI for inside your car. There's a Taiwan Semiconductors about the current CEO and vice chairman. We succeeded Mark Liu, who will be retiring next year as chairman. Tesla is looking to raise some hourly rates for some workers. And Walt Disney looks like they're opening up a Zootopia themed attraction in China. That's really it. We can get into daily charts. That's about all I want to talk about. And sometimes it doesn't mean much to the news, unless it's FOMC or CPI or stuff like that. Daily charts. Let's do it. Not much to talk about here either. But we can analyze it, right, together? Alright, so we pretty much had a little bit of a pullback on Friday, right? There's that trend line I've been talking about. So here's that balance, and we just kind of melted up until we got boom. And now look, we're holding these higher prices, right? It's just bullish structure. Yesterday we kind of had like, we moved up, like here's last week's highs within last week. So nothing to see here. We're at 473.09. We're right at the highs of yesterday. Okay. I mean, will we get a pullback? Who knows? We might just balance like this for a while until Christmas, and then we move higher. So that is the SPY. All right, let's look at the Qs. So the Qs had another high yesterday, made another high because they had a 2-day high right here. Okay, right there. Knocked out those shorts there. Closed over last week's highs. Just bullish. Just overall bullish. Now, over the weekend, and I believe I said this yesterday morning, that I like the communication sector. Okay, if you look communication sector, it was just a little weaker, and it had some pullback in it. And I was like, you know what? This is a lagging sector. This should get a pop. And I was interested in Meta, Google. Really interested in those two. I didn't get it. Meta just took off. Took off. I didn't get a little bit of pullback in Meta, so I didn't get a chance to throw something on, but that's why I went to Google. And communication sector had a really nice day yesterday. So that analysis paid off there. Qs right now, we're at 407. We're at 408 basically. We're right at the highs yesterday. Yeah, right at the highs. So now look what we're doing. We're basically building new value up here, accepting these higher prices, not going crazy high, right? But if we just keep around this area, even if you pull back to here, that's still bullish. You have to understand that's still bullish. Even if you pull back to here, then you get that Santa Claus. You know, you either pull back or you move sideways. Either way. Okay. In order to go higher, you need to have liquidity. So you just can't keep going higher and higher and higher and higher and have a big move, because there's got to be liquidity there. There's got to be shorts. There's got to be people to get hurt. So you go move sideways or you pull back. Then you get shorts in there to cover their positions to go higher. Okay. Real quick, we'll look at the Russell. See this 3 days? You went sideways. And what did I say? I don't know if it broke out. Let's see where it's at now. 198. We didn't even break out, but 198.81. So, here's a classic example of how the market works, right? So you have a big move, then you gap up. 200 is like a really big resistance level, and look at this right here. Look to the left. Two big swing highs here, right? You're gonna rest. That's what the market does, right? You move, you rest. You move, you rest, right? So it's either market's either in balance here, like balance or excess. Balance or excess. That's how the market moves, right? Coiling up energy. Now, do I think this moves higher and breaks 200? Maybe. Probably more likely. Okay. So this is nice. I mean, if it keeps, I would like one more pullback, then I would think about, okay, let's maybe put something on for the Russell. Okay. But the Russell and the Dow are balancing, right? Look, SPY's balancing again. So, I mean, look at this meteor, which is crazy, crazy, just nuts. All right, let's just look at the bond market. We could look at it real quick. I don't have to go over the VIX or the dollar. They're pretty much the same right now. But the bond market has opened. And look at that. Yesterday had a little strength, but look, it's already weak. The yields are down today. It's down 1.34%. It's down to 3.9. So as long as this keeps falling, the market could go higher. Okay. So the TNX is down 1.34%. It's at 3.9 yield. It's at the lows, right? So if we look at this last little move here, look, it's right here. It's in a range. If it breaks this support, right, you don't have a lot of room. You can go down to here, 3.7, 3.6. If that happens, geez, that's Santa Claus right there. If you drop there, that's going to fuel the rally. Okay. So, all right, let's go to market profile. Let's do that. It's time. It's time to look at our structure. Let's do it. Let's get right in here. All right, we have a slight gap up, so let's get my trusty marker out here, tool. And we're just going to look at structure. Right. Got a nice little weekly profile here. Pretty much a bell curve. Okay, that shows balance. All right. Most traded price of the week still 47.68. Okay. Market, look what it's did. Held it here. Higher low, right? Holding that most traded price. That's bullish, right? Now the market's job is to take this most traded price of the week and move it higher, right? So it's building volume out here, building value, right? And if you've known me when I've talked previously, why I use volume profile, it always tells you the value area, right? So this highlighted light blue in here is the value area. That's 70% of the trade has happened there in the last week. Okay, so what the market's job needs to do is move this value up higher. All right, and if it can move the most traded price, let's say up here, well, that has another support for the market to move higher. That just makes the move more real, more attainable. Okay, I don't see any weakness in this market. Okay, until this is taken out, until the market can move past this, right? It's not weak. Doesn't matter if it does this, does this, does this, doesn't matter. Still bullish, okay? That's what structure does. Price action, before I had this, any kind of move would make me think, oh my God, it's bearish, right? But no, structure's king. All right. So look at right now. We are a little ripe here for a possible pullback. Remember, when I say pullback, that's not bearish. It just the market needs to correct. Okay, we do have 100. We're almost 100% net long because look at that. That's the only short activity. This is all the long activity when we're gapping up on the top of the range. Okay, this all points, and we're in supply. We're in a supply zone here. Okay, this all kind of points to could get some corrective activity. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but okay. So now we know we're 100% net long overnight. Now check this out. You got longs here, longs here, longs here, longs here, all getting paid. All right, everyone who's long is getting paid. Okay, we have a weak low here, so you have an overnight low and the close and value area from yesterday. That's 70% of the trade for yesterday, right? If you break this low, this is a weak low now, you could probably test yesterday's lows in this demand zone and possibly, you know, come down and tag this most traded price of the week. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. All right, so this week low, overnight low, is very important. 47.87 is very important level. Okay, it's the close, it's the overnight low, it's the value area low from yesterday. I'm not saying this is a big bearish move where we're going to fall apart. It's just going to cause longs to liquidate their positions to take profits. Okay, and then it's up to the bulls to defend this level. All right, so now that I'm talking about that, let's get into that scenarios. And don't know who's listening, but hopefully I'm making sense. I haven't seen some of my loyal followers in here in a little bit, or I haven't said anything. Colby, Wien, I haven't seen Wien in a while. I know Rosita is always a tried and true. Or somebody new in here, who knows, right? Like I said, I could talk to myself. This is my process, right? This gets me prepared for the day. So let's look at the bull scenario, right? I'm not interested in longing into supply here. And it's not really a smart move. That's not probable. Can it happen? Sure. But trading's all about probabilities, not about being right. Let's say that happens 1 out of 10 times. Okay, that happened once, right? It doesn't really matter. Trading's all about probabilities. So, not really liking the long and supply at the top of this range. Okay. So, for the bulls, we just talked about it. Obviously, now you're not gapping anymore. Okay, you're still at the top of the range, right? So what needs to happen? Most likely, you're 100% overnight. You're 100% long on the overnight. You need some corrective activity. Okay, so for the bulls, you could even move up. Well, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. All right, so you could possibly correct a little bit. And like I said, there's that weak low. Pull back, flush that, hit this demand zone. Finally get the pullback that everyone thinks maybe sellers are alive. Okay, you either hold this demand or you could touch. This is the price to defend. Most traded price of the week, 47.68 around. Call it 47.65, whatever you want to call it. If that gets defended, right, that's the liquidity to make that move go higher, right? And then if this stays, you have a weak high here, you'll move into the supply zone. Okay. Now you can also, for the bull, you could push through here, not even you could just nip this demand and then go up as well. Doesn't have to fall like that. Okay, doesn't have to fall. All right, let's talk about shorts. Okay, now you already know my short plan probably. So if this market pushes up a little bit, right? Now look at this. I'm going to show you this. This is very key as well. Most traded price of the overnight happens to be the most traded price of yesterday. Okay. Everybody's long right there. So that's a little part of the profile, right? Candlestick ain't going to show you that. Right there. Right in that price range right there is about 47.96. Okay. So if the market moves up and we come through the open, come through this level, it's going to go lower. That's just the most trades have happened there in the last two sessions. Okay. You're going to come lower and test the overnight low. That's that weak low that I talked about. If you push through that with volume, you're going to test yesterday's lows. And now it's the job of the bulls to defend this. And if they can't, okay, remember this is a bearish scenario. If you push through that demand zone, push through the most traded price of the week, it's not going to be easy, and you start to hold under it, you can get some corrective activity. Okay, possibly test the swing low here. So really, really important to see that. Okay. I mean, if you really get weak, you don't have much support here. Look at this volume to the right here. Look how thin that is. You can go down and start testing these single prints here. I don't know if that happens. Okay. The market is due for some correction, but it, again, doesn't mean it has to happen. It could just move sideways. Okay. Let's move over to the NASDAQ. All right. Let's move over to that NASDAQ. Okay. Here's our NASDAQ. That's been stronger, okay, as of late. Let's look at the structure together. All right, so here's our profile, right? I said yesterday that profile looked like this. Remember that? I said there's a bullish imbalance to the profile. I said you need to make a correction to make it a bell curve, and that's what we did yesterday. Okay, that's what we did. Took out all these shorts right here. Market corrected that on this profile. Okay, so most traded price still right here above it. That price is around 16820. Okay. All right, let's look at what we're doing. Where's price? Right here. Okay, so we're at the top of yesterday's range. Now we have the same kind of setup as we do in the ES. Okay, same kind of weak low. Okay, so it's the same setup. Pretty cool. I'm probably not going to go into much detail because it's the same setup. Okay. Now the one difference is here you have the breakout point, which is right here. It's right at the most traded price of yesterday. That needs to be defended. But same thing here. Look, you're 100% net long in the NASDAQ. 100% net long. Now, one thing I want to show you guys. Remember the bullish imbalance I showed you that should break out yesterday? Well, we have a bearish imbalance in the overnight. Look at the profile, right? Look at that volume at the lows. Doesn't really have this, right? Doesn't have that tail. All right, so that is a lot of volume down here, right? This is the close from yesterday, and it's the overnight low. Same thing in the ES. This is weak now. This is a weak low. A lot of trade has happened in this area. Okay, a lot of volume has transpired there. All right, yesterday and in the overnight. So this is very susceptible to get broken. Okay, and you're either going to test the most traded price of yesterday, which is also the breakout level, or you're going to come down and test this demand zone, right? And this is the level with the most traded price of the week to defend. Obviously, we can still go higher, but this is a very key area. This a little frothy in the market doesn't mean it has to happen. Just pointing it out. So let's get into some scenarios here. It's going to be this pretty similar. Okay, pretty similar. All right. So we know bullish. A couple things can happen. Market could come down here, and you could defend this level, that weak low. Then you can go higher, right? Market could also come down. There's a couple of defenses here. So the breakout level could defend this most traded price, go higher. Remember, this is bullish structure still. So that's why I'm saying you could pull back to these areas and catch life, right? And then finally, you can go test yesterday's lows into this demand zone and the most traded price of the week, and that also can go higher. All of that selling into this would just be a pullback for the market to move higher. Okay. Now we have a bearish scenario here. Okay, bearish scenario. Open up. Could probably test the overnight highs. Come down. And now, if the market shows weakness, we're going to test this area, that weak low, right? If you push through that, you got the most traded price yesterday. You push through that, you're going to test yesterday's lows in this demand zone. Okay. Remember, in the bull scenario, this could be defended, but if it's bearish, if we rip down, we got to hold under the most traded price of the week. We probably test this demand. There's a lot of demand zones here, so that's why I don't think they just get ripped easily. Okay. You take that out, you're definitely going down here. Well, not definitely, but if it's just weak, people are going to be like, "Well, I'm taking profits," and then Santa Claus can come next week. It doesn't have to happen though. Okay. So I kind of like these setups today. Okay. These are pretty nice. That's going to be it for me today. Subscribe, send an alert if you haven't already. Of course, if you like the content, you can always give me a big thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. As well as you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. So we have our plan. It's pretty simple, right? And you have them from both both scenarios. A pullback to go long, or move up a little bit and look for that weak low to break. All right, they both have weak lows. Weak low is just confluence with a bunch of levels that will show pain if it's broken. That's basically all that is, okay? Everybody have a great day. I wish everybody to stay green. Okay, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.